Well, hello there, Chef D Malfi here, and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. Today is Tuesday, and I'm going to make you a delicious lunch. Today we're making a recipe right from my Plant-Based Made Easy monthly cookbook. I've printed it out just so you can see it. This is a downloadable cookbook. It's really cool. You can put it on your phone, you can keep it with you, mark it as grocery lists. It has 24 wonderful recipes, including breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks, sweets, and staple recipes. And today we're all about lunch. We're going to focus on making a quick and easy lunch with an ancient grain, one of my favorites. We're going to use farro today. And if you aren't familiar, I'm going to introduce you to something new and super yummy. Really, really good for you as well. All right, so let's get into it. For the farro Brussels sprouts salad today, of course, we're going to need a grain. I'm going to use farro, as I mentioned, and Brussels sprouts. It's a seasonal ingredient, and so I'm going to bring it into the mix. You're going to start seeing more and more of these autumn ingredients in my recipes because I'm all about seasonal eating. And I've been a chef for 15 years, and now I'm an integrative nutrition health coach and chef. And I've married these two things, and what was born was plant-based, made easy. So if you have questions along the way about being plant-based, about going plant-based, about living plant-based, or if you want to know how to substitute certain things, maybe you're not quite vegan or plant-based, maybe you're just vegetarian, or maybe you still eat meat and that's okay, bring your questions here, and I want to help you understand things so that you can feel more confident in the kitchen. I love this space. I call all you people here that are watching and that are interested in this, the kitchen people, or people that are interested in being part of the kitchen club. That's this. This is the club right here. If you like to be in this space, or you're not comfortable yet in the space, but you really have a desire to learn how to be comfortable in it, then stick around and watch and learn. There's so much to learn in these recipes, a way to actually make you fully comfortable and embody this space as your own. So let's get into the recipe. I'm going to start with the dressing. So this recipe is two parts. It's first vegetables that are mixed together with the delicious grains. And I'm going to use a delicious maple balsamic dressing. Today I'm going to mix it up together in this clear bowl. You're going to see I'm going to do everything on the overhead. Let me do a screen. Grab my maple syrup. Here it is. All right, so first things first, we need to make this a little sweet. Now, when I'm talking about sweetness, I don't mean adding a bunch of sugar to your dishes and all of your food. I mean balancing the flavor. So as a chef and as someone that cooks and loves food in all forms, I really want to achieve really nice balance of flavor, all right? So in this dressing, we're going to use both a fat and we're going to use a sweet element. My sweet is going to be low processed or unprocessed maple syrup. I love maple syrup. I've got it baked. It was only 6 months ago. I've discovered that I really love this stuff. It's really yummy. It's great in balancing a flavor of any marinade, dressing, dip, even to actually use as part of your baking or your bread making. It's really good. I love this. Christina says, the kitchen club. I like it. I've learned so much from you. Thank you so much, Christina. And look, if you have a question or comment, I'm going to slap it on the screen. So look, Christina, you and your loved one right here on our screen with us. Thank you for being a part of this space. All right, so let's make our dressing. The first thing that I want is my maple syrup. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. It's not that much. And I'm just going to eyeball it today. I'm feeling like I'm in the eyeball mood. I'm not in the exact measurement mood today. Not at all. All right, the next thing that I want is extra virgin olive oil. You can also use avocado oil or any neutral oil. I have 2 here, and I just want to show you the difference. You can see there's a lighter oil here, and then there's a darker oil here. This, my friends, is avocado. Really good for salad dressing, marinades, and things like that. But it's also really good for high heat cooking because it has a high smoke point. So think about wok cooking, even frying, shallow frying or deep frying. Avocado oil is going to be your friend. And even baking. It's really because it has a neutral flavor. One more thing, it's really good in making vegan or plant-based mayo because it doesn't and it will not impart a very intense flavor. On the other hand, this darker oil, that's extra virgin olive oil, one of my all-time favorites. I basically grew up bathing in this stuff, right? Extra virgin olive oil, it is the base of my cooking for sure. I've used less and less of it now. I started using less and less of it now since I've gone plant-based because I'm truly using a lot less oil. But I love extra virgin olive oil, and I probably will never let go of it completely because A, I don't really need to. I have no health ailments that are telling me that I need to be oil-free or salt-free. But I do try to eat oil and salt in moderation. but extra virgin olive oil is really great for the heart as well as the brain at all stages of life. It doesn't matter. It's not just for the elderly, or it's not just for adults. It's also really great for anyone at any stage, including people that are sick and including children. I love extra virgin olive oil for their omega-3 fatty acids. Those are the really good, rich fats, the good fats that are very important for our heart health and our brain health. It helps us feeling like more cognitively aware when we enjoy healthy fats. So I'm going to use 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil, or you can use your favorite oil: avocado, walnut, sunflower, safflower, grapeseed oil. Lots of different oils go by lots of different names. And I'm just going to pour this in 1/2 cup. All right, no, really a good vinaigrette, you guys, is 2 parts. It's both a vinegar or an acid and a fat or an oil. So both fat and an acid come together and make a delicious vinaigrette. That's what we want to achieve. So we have a little fat here. Now we need our acid. All right. So for our acid, can you guess what I might be using? I may have already said it. And if I did, well, then you're paying you're paying attention really well. I'm actually going to use something that's wonderful with Brussels sprouts. It's wonderful for this fall season. I'm going to use balsamic vinegar. Now, you're going to see me using a lot more of this throughout the fall season as well as the winter months. It's really good stuff. It's got a nice brightness, a sweetness, but it also has a really nice in-your-face acidity that I really love in a vinaigrette. So I'm going to use 1-to-1, 1/2 cup of balsamic vinegar to 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Cool. This is perfect. I'm eyeballing it, but I'm trusting my gut here. All right, now I want a little S&P, of course. I'm going to use a little sea salt here. I love using sea salt. This is not processed. It comes right from the sea. It's really fine and it's really delicious. I'm going to use 1/2 teaspoon of this. And then a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. If white pepper is your jam or if pink pepper is your jam, go ahead and use that. But I really like black pepper. I don't like white pepper very much at all. And I can't really find pink pepper. So I stick to the black pepper and I use Telletary black peppercorns organic, the big jar from Costco. Really good stuff. I love it. And I just fill up my pepper grinder as needed. And I always freshly grind my pepper. I never ever use it pre-ground. If I do use it pre-ground, it's actually because I'm catering or I'm prepping a big meal for a lot of people. And all I do is I actually pre-grind a little bowl just like this on my workstation and I use it up throughout the entire cooking experience. So that's the vinaigrette. Simple. I'm gonna whisk this up. Now I really want to whisk this until it kind of gets nice and emulsified. This is not an emulsified vinaigrette though. If you're wondering what is an emulsification or what's an emulsified salad dressing or vinaigrette, what it is it's some sort of ingredient, usually by the name of soy lecithin. You can get that from egg yolk, or you can get that from mustard if you're vegan or plant-based. And this has soy lecithin within, and that soy lecithin is really great in grabbing the acid molecules and the fat molecules and bringing everything together. And what that creates, when you look at it visually and when you taste it on your palate, it actually creates a really nice creamy dressing without there being any dairy. So it's a thick and creamy dressing without dairy, just naturally. Now, I got to taste this for S&P. I got to taste this for the salt. I also want to taste this for the balsamic level and the maple level. I want all of this to marry well and actually dance. I want to be able to taste it all. I don't want to like just taste the acid or just taste the maple or just taste the oil. Yeah? Oh, wow. So nice. Not overly sweet, just perfect. All right. So you can tell it makes a good amount of dressing. What is that? Maybe just like a cup, probably. Maybe just under a cup. All right, perfect. So this is fantastic. I'm going to put this aside. Now let's make our salad dressing. Hi, Neil. Good to see you. Gwendolyn, hello. Good to see you. Hi, Diane. Sydney, always a pleasure. All right. I'm going to move on to the dressing, the salad now. I'm going to do it in my clear bowl here, and I'll just place it aside. You can kind of see on the edge. Does that work for you guys? Here, I'll move things over. I really want you to be able to see what I'm doing in case you're unfamiliar with how to prep, right? How to actually slice and dice and put everything together. So let's get into it. First thing that I need to do is I need to talk about farro with you. I need to cook some farro. So get your farro on or have it pre-cooked, which I've done. Here's farro, you guys. I'm going to show you the package. This is 10-minute farro. It actually comes from Trader Joe's. And what can I say about this? There's a lot that I want to say about it. This is an ancient grain, and it's wonderful. It's very good for us. The reason it's good for us is that it's jam-packed with protein, as well as wonderful potassium, iron, calcium, and it has an amazing chew. It's got a nice chewy consistency, not crunchy, but chewy when you cook it. Now, here's what it looks like raw before it's cooked. Just going to show you on the overhead. Kind of cool, right? Kind of looks like, well, it looks like farro, but it kind of looks like, if you're familiar with old-fashioned oats, maybe you could mix it up for old-fashioned oats. Not interchangeable, no. I'm just making a comparison. It's really great. It's got a beautiful color. Now, when it's cooked, take a look at what it looks like once it's cooked. It has this beautiful, puffed, delicious, kind of grainy look, right? You can still see it's split. It has that like middle line, that line that goes down the center. Really good stuff. So I want a cup of this right into my mixing bowl. And to cook farro, it's really fairly simple. You just throw dried farro into a bowl, into a pot, fill it with water, cover it with water. There should be like 3 inches above the farro with water. And then you literally let it come to a boil. And after it comes to a boil, you can drop it to a roaring simmer and let it sit there for like 15 minutes. Now, this right here is 10-minute farro, meaning it's actually been pre-cooked, then it's dried, and then it's packaged. So, by the time it gets to you, it actually is already pre-cooked halfway, meaning it's only going to need 10 more minutes. Got to tell you though, just a little like reminder, don't trust the ingredients don't trust the instructions on the back of the package. Always taste as you go. Yeah? Because your flame and the way that they tell you to make this, and their flame, the way that they made it in their test kitchen, could be totally different, right? So you need to taste it. After 10 minutes, taste it. Does it taste cooked? If it doesn't, let it go a little longer. To be honest, it says 10-minute farro, but I've purchased this stuff for years and it's never taken 10 minutes. It usually takes like 12. My favorite number. All right. The next thing that I want are Brussels sprouts. I need some water so that I can get my words out correctly. If you guys have a comment, you leave a comment, all right? And we'll post it up there. Gosh dang, can I just give a second with Mickey? I miss Disney. I really miss Disneyland. I live near Disneyland, like 20 minutes away. I actually moved to Orange County because I started working with the company, and I've been working with them for 5 years, and to not have it be so much a part of my life on a regular basis, it's like sad. I just want to just admit that to you. I'm genuinely sad about it, and I watch Disney movies often just so I can like breathe it in, and sometimes I just put on like the Disneyland soundtrack. Yes, I do. When I'm writing or recipe developing in my kitchen, just so I can like feel it. You have to just do that right now. Whatever it takes, right? All right, let's stay focused. Brussels sprouts, yes. Our next ingredient. I'm going to use shredded or shaved Brussels sprouts. I absolutely love this ingredient. One of my favorite go-to convenient ingredients. I'm saying it's convenient because it's already shaved. I don't have to do the shaving. I shave myself, but I don't have to do the Brussels sprout shaving. It's really important for me, especially during the fall season, when I'm feeling less inclined to always sit around and cook in the kitchen, and I really just want a hearty meal. I really try to opt in for things that are pre-sliced and diced if I can afford it, and if it's available and it looks fresh. This I love. This is from Trader Joe's. All of this is from Trader Joe's. I should just say that. I don't need to mention that anymore. I'm going to add this right to my mixture here. I want about 4 to 6 cups or so, and it's have a use by label, like a date. I want you to use by that date. Mine says 10/21. It's super fresh. As soon as I get pre-cut veggies, either if it's a mirepoix, that's the celery, onion, carrot mixture that comes in the quart container that's already diced up. If I get these that are pre-shredded, if I get shredded grated carrots, if I get pickled beets that are sliced and diced, make sure to eat these ingredients fast. Eat them first, eat them fast. All your whole veggies can last a lot longer, but anything that's pre-shredded, eat it first, okay? You will really like it better if you enjoy it when it's fresh. All right, the next ingredient that I want is yellow pepper. I'm going to use yellow pepper because I want all those delicious nutrients. And I'm going to just show you how I remove the seeds and the ribs. I actually go run around my pepper, run it around with my chef's knife, and I'm basically just cutting around this center part. This is going to go right into the compost. And yes, I do have compost. I started making it at the beginning of this sheltering in place, and I'm so glad that I did. It's not even quite finished. There's been many moments where I was like, oh, I have amazing soil now. And then I look inside and it's a little too wet. So I'm still making my compost. I'm still trying to get it to the perfect dry, but yet wet and supple and delicious and kind of moist living organism fertilizer, but I haven't quite achieved that yet. So I'm still feeding it. So I have all the seeds. I've taken them out. You can see I just kind of flick them in the compost bin here. I have a few more. It's okay if you have a few seeds, totally fine. I just remove the seeds and the ribs because that's where the heat is going to be, all right? So within peppers, there's a cool ingredient called capsaicin, and this is the hot element of the chili pepper variety. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be a ghost pepper to a jalapeno or a bell pepper. They all have that same quality within. And one of the ways to actually avoid the heat or the hot flavor is to actually remove the seeds and the stems. And then I'm just going to actually julienne or make little ribbons, strips, if you will, and then I'll dice it up. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You can do diced bits. You can do all julienne pieces really thin. It doesn't matter, but I really like the diced bits. I want little tiny bits of pepper. And I'm using the yellow as opposed to the green because it has way more nutrients, as we've talked about a couple of times here at Plant-Based Made Easy. I love knowing that I'm going to grab the most potent, colorful veggies and fruits. And that's going to help me feel my most potent and vibrant and colorful and alive. Yeah, it does work that way. Seems too simple sometimes to be true, but it's true. Food is so potent. It's so, in a way, it's so magical, right? It can, like, if we choose wisely, it can really help us. Really, really help us. I've been going through a rough time right now, you guys, and just being really honest with you. Life is tough. Life is hard. And I'm trying to keep my head up. And one of the ways that I'm doing that is by eating a really delicious and colorful diet. All the ways in which I'm sharing with you on this channel and in this show, I really think it's helping a lot. It helps keep my moods high, elevated. It helps me sleep better. It helps me digest. It helps me feel full and fueled throughout the day. It's going well for me, this plant-based diet. I hope it's going well for you. All right, so I have the yellow peppers. I have the shaved Brussels sprouts. I have the farro. I'm going to just take a quick second, and I'm going to share something with you, a little quick share screen, you guys. You can use any grain that you want, and I just want to remind you, if you can't find farro, that's okay. Here's a quick grain comparison chart that I wanted to share, and this is wonderful. This has both farro and freaky, also known as green farro or green wheat. It also has quinoa and brown rice, and it's comparing these 4 different grains. And what I love about it is it compares it macronutrient to macronutrient and micronutrient. So calories are on top, protein next, fiber, then carbs, then fat, then iron. So we'll start with calories. Look at farro, 220 calories. This is within 1 portion. It's usually half a cup. Green wheat has 130 calories, quinoa has 155, and brown rice has 157. Now, farro is the most of all the calories, but that's okay. This is going to indicate to you, not that it's a bad food at all. I hope that you can see my expression when I'm saying this. Food cannot have a value proposition. We actually give it that. So food is not good or bad. Food is good or better, right? And so when we look at farro, we know, yes, it may have more calories, but that is going to give us that full feeling. It's going to help us to feel like we're actually satiated with this meal. And that's why I can confidently say this recipe is fantastic. You might not consider this if you're currently a meat eater or a vegetarian and not quite plant-based or vegan yet. You might consider this farro Brussels sprout salad an incomplete meal. but it's not. Because of the farro and because its nutrient density and because of the shaved Brussels sprouts and the fact that it's a magical cruciferous vegetable, that's a vegetable that grows like a cross. Oh, that's magical in and of itself. Then you add the yellow peppers and all of the amazing seeds that are going to be jam-packed with protein and the nuts. You are going to find that this is totally a balanced meal. I just want to bring your attention to protein. It has 7 grams of protein versus brown rice, which only has 3 grams. And we all know that brown rice is considered protein dense. Yes? Well, quinoa, we think that that is one of the most protein dense pseudo grains, and it is, but it only has 6 grams. So when you start comparing and you're looking at food and you're kind of comparing it apples to apples, if you will, you'll see that everything may be slightly different, but you can enjoy these grains however you want. And if you want to feel like this is a complete meal, grab the farro, try it. You're going to love it. So I just wanted to share this with you. I just think that this stuff is so interesting. I'm such a nutrition nerd. Obviously, I'm a foodie and I'm food nerd, but I love really learning about all of these wonderful grains, all of these different seeds and nuts and vegetables. People often say to me, I'm coming back to you now, people say, well, I don't have a lot of variety with the plant-based diet or a vegan diet. I feel like there's more variety when I'm eating the SAD diet, the standard American diet. Now I say that jokingly, but I really call it the SAD diet. And what I have to say to that with a full rebuttal is, how could that be? I mean, really, when you think about it, how many different grains do you eat? Can you eat? Let me say it differently. Hundreds and hundreds of different grains, way more than there are at the market, truly. Now, when you think about that, think about how many different nuts there are. Think about how many different vegetables and fruits there are. Then you think about how many different types of chicken are there. Well, there's only one. How many different types of beef is there? Well, there's only one, right? I mean, there's really not actually that much variety with the standard American diet as much as there is with the plant-based diet. So for whatever it's worth, I just wanted to share that with you because I get that question more than I get any other curious question, which is, I feel like I'm not going to have enough variety in my diet. Not true, and I can help you. All right, let's move on. Just 2 more ingredients. I want some nuts. I mentioned that I was going to add nuts. I really love using salted cashews. These are going to be jam-packed with fiber, protein, and fat. I'm going to use about 1/2 cup. Throw that right in. And because, after all, it's October, I'm going to use a little pumpkin seeds. This is the first time I'm using pumpkin seeds in a while, and I'm really excited to have it back in my pantry. I'm going to throw 1/2 cup of pumpkin seeds right in. And you guys, here's how I like to store my seeds. I store them in glass containers with little tops like this that twist on, and it's wonderful. I do this in my pantry so that when I open my pantry doors, I can see everything. And you know what they say, we eat with our eyes first. That's not a joke. It's totally true. We totally eat with our eyes first. And when I can scan my pantry for all the wonderful ingredients, you better believe my stomach's going to start to crave certain things when I look at it and I think, I'm kind of hungry for that. All right, here's a question. This comes from Cindy Strong. I found so far that the food tastes way better, fresh and good, and I feel so much better. It's so true, Cindy. I love that your last name is Strong because you're strong, and I can tell this about you every single time we engage on our Facebook group and on the show. Thank you so much for your comment. It's so true. The foods here are like living. They're vibrant. They are so good for us. Look at this. Look at this already without the dressing. Just look how alive it looks. Now, can you imagine what this is going to do to the inside of our body? But more importantly, even our spirit. When we know we're doing good for our bodies, it raises our spirit. It raises our vibration. It helps us to feel whole, right? I hope that you're with me. I hope that you're feeling that because I truly feel it with every ounce of my being. Oh, Geraldine, I'm so excited to make this recipe. Yes, I'm so glad that you're excited. Look, you guys, I'm going to finish this off. There's not much more to do. I'm just going to dress it with my dressing. Remember, make this your own too. You could use maple syrup. If you could use agave syrup if you didn't have maple syrup. You could use avocado oil, like I said, and if you didn't want extra virgin olive oil. You could use a different kind of crunchy vegetable. Instead of bell pepper, maybe you would add carrot. Yum. And instead of Brussels sprouts, maybe you might consider adding sweet potato. Yum. Yeah? Are you into it? Like, think of all the different possibilities. That's why I love plant-based cooking, because it's very easy to do interchangeable dishes with recipes that you have on hand. So I love taking, let's say, my chickpea Asian tacos that I made last week. get into it. If you haven't seen that recipe and seen me watch it last week, you can actually go back and watch any of the recipes, including that one. And for instance, that recipe, you could take out kale and you could add Brussels sprouts if you wanted. You could take out chickpeas and you could add navy beans, whatever. Now I forgot what ingredient, another protein element. I'm just gonna add it right now. I'm going to use a white bean. Today I'm going to use navy beans. I've actually drained and rinsed these. You can see it's in my ladybug colander. How cute is that, right? I drained and rinsed these so that I could remove a third of the sodium. This is a full can of navy beans, which I absolutely love. I use Eden organic navy beans if I can find them. This is great. These are organic navy beans in water and then kombu seaweed. That's how these are brined or canned. And I love that they don't use a lot of salt. They use the kombu seaweed though as the salt substitute. So it's really good for us. And all we're doing is rinsing off a little bit of that saltiness when we drain and rinse them. Ah, this looks so good. You could use dried cranberries. Yum, 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 yum. Are you getting inspiration? Are you getting like different inspiration? Okay, Natalie, you've won everything. You've won this week. Natalie and her amazing, cute, I was going to say cute ass, but I've just said it. Your cute daughter with the glasses. You guys have made like 4, 5, 6 dishes from Plant-Based Made Easy over the last couple of weeks, and you've showcased it, and I loved it, and all of us have loved it. Thank you so much. You say that you're just tuning in. This is at the top of my list to make. We love Brussels sprouts. It looks amazing. Yes, I hope that you guys like this recipe. I hope that you and your family are doing well this week. All of you, actually. Yes, can you make this a warm dish too? Geraldine, that's a really great question. You absolutely could. If you wanted to make this a warm dish, here's how I would do it. I would cook your farro just like I did beforehand. And then I would take your Brussels sprouts and I would cook those on a sheet tray or a baking sheet in the oven. Cook it at like 375 degrees until they're just nice and crispy or blackened around the edges just slightly. And then I would remove that and I would put it all together. And so instead of it being a crunchy raw salad, you can make it a warm salad or even a room temperature salad, but all the ingredients are cooked through. Yeah, it would be just as delicious that way. I'm going with raw though, because I really love to do raw till 4. Have you guys heard of this? I love to do raw till 4 because it's really just eating raw fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, and tubers until 4 o'clock. And what that does is it helps us to stay really light on our feet. Cindy, you said, can you pre-cook and freeze if we start from dry? I believe you're talking about the farro and the beans. If you start from dry, pre-cook. If you wanted to, you could freeze, but the most important thing in between that process is once you pre-cook, you have to let it come down to room temp. Do not cook farro or any grain for that matter, or beans from dry and then try to freeze it hot. Don't try to do that. Does anybody know why? This is a good culinary question. You don't want to do that because it actually creates ice crystals around the ingredients themselves. And when you go to actually thaw the ingredients, what ends up happening is you get waterlogged. You get all of the farro that you spent so much time cooking and freezing. It's all waterlogged now. And it actually, that water, that ice is going to break down the ingredients in not a good way. We don't want to do that. So let it come down to room temp and then freeze it. Yeah? Cool. Yeah. Oh, this is a good question. Niza, I'm so glad that you're here. Are vegetables better for you raw or cooked? Again, it's not one or the other. It really depends on your body type. So Niza, do you have an idea? Do you actually crave cooked vegetables or fruit for that matter more than raw fruit or vegetables? No, seriously, I'm asking. I want to know the question. I want to know the answer to this question. It's all about tuning into what we crave, allowing our body and our cravings, AKA our desires, to lead us to our next step. Now, in the world of food, that's really fun because we can actually truly think about, oh, okay, I'm getting hungry for lunch. It's now 12:41. I want some lunch here. And I'm thinking, what do I want? What am I hungry for? Yeah. And if I can like tap into, oh, I'm hungry for a raw green salad with avocado, and a little olive oil, and maybe some hemp seeds. That's telling me a few things. It's telling me I'm hungry for some fat. I'm hungry for some protein, and I want something raw and crunchy. Yeah, maybe that's to help my digestive tract. We don't really know why our body is telling us to crave certain things, but this is really important. Can we really sit with our cravings? Can we really sit with our desires? And I'm not talking about like my desire is to eat brownies all day long. No. That's actually not real. We don't actually want to sit and eat bonbons and brownies and lollipops all day long, do we? No, nobody does. We actually just want to get really clear about what is it that we're hungry for? Truly, what can feed our body? So Nisa, I'd love to know. Let me know. Do you like the cooked vegetables or the raw? Raw, you got it. You nailed it. I love that. Then you're going to love this salad. That's it. That's exactly how you do it. And then I saw another, this is a good question. Penny asked, not a Brussels sprout fan. They taste bitter, but we'll give this recipe a try. Penny, if you don't like Brussels sprouts, you don't have to force yourself to eat them at all. I'm going to offer you another suggestion. If you want something that's similar to a Brussels sprout, but has like a sweeter flavor, you could actually try artichokes, like from the can. You can take the artichokes from the can, you can drain them, and then you can chop them up. Now, this would be really good if you cooked your farro and you had kind of the beans in there, and maybe you swapped out the bell pepper with like sweet potato. That'd be really yummy. So think about it this way. You don't have to try the Brussels sprouts or enjoy Brussels sprouts if you think they're too bitter. Give them a try if you want. So it sounds like you're willing, though. That's really, really good. But there's lots of different options for you. Okay, I'm going to just plate this up now because I'm doing a lot of talking right now, and I'm ready to do a lot of eating. So I'm just going to plate this. I want a big mound. That looks amazing. This is definitely a fork situation. Take a look at this, will you? Farro Brussels sprout salad, you guys, a little bit of white beans, a little bit of yellow pepper, shaved Brussels sprouts, some delicious ancient grain farro, which we learned about. I hope this is in the back of your mind. Give it a try if you've never had it. Yummy pumpkin seeds, cashews. I am so ready. I love these shaved Brussels sprouts. And I love the navy beans. Good, I have a little bit of everything. I just want to give this little plate of food gratitude because I forgot. Again, that's how hungry I am. I come on this show and I'm too hungry. Thank you, God, and thank you for this plate of food. I'm so grateful today for this opportunity to be here to serve you guys well in this way. This is my passion. There's nothing that I would rather be doing than to be developing recipes for you and your family to make it easy to cook and to bring the joy back into food and eating again. You guys, please try this recipe. And if you try it, take a photo and pop it into the Plant-Based Made Easy Facebook group. If you need a little inspiration, you can check out Natalie and her daughter. They have given you all the inspiration that you may need for this month. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you to your sweet daughter and your family. You guys, check out this cookbook if you haven't already. And if you don't want to purchase it, that's okay. You can just watch the show. But I hope that you'll consider purchasing it because, well, that's how you can resource me. I'm doing this for you guys 5 days a week, and I've been doing it strong for the last 32 weeks in a row. That's like mind-blowing to me. I truly can't do anything consistently, but I do this consistently because that's how much I care about it and I honor it. So thank you for your support. I'm so glad that you're finding value in this content. Keep on watching, you guys. Tomorrow we're going to be making dinner. I'm going to be showing you how to make a sweet potato black bean burger. Yes, we do a burger in every month, just as though we do a pancake recipe in every month, taco recipe every month. So come back tomorrow for that delicious Wellness Wednesday dinner. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to do. If you guys have any questions before the shows, please let me know. You can contact me, you can DM me, you can email me. I'm always available to you. And I think I'll save the rest for the rest. Have a wonderful rest of your evening or your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace, guys.